could like feel him tucking it under your skin.
Oh my God, I just imagine like that in a horror movie as like doing it to someone when
But
their face isn't
without
numb.
numb.
And they're just like, oh, and there's like thread coming through their
But
face.
that would be like that. It would be horrible because it was...
It would be horrible.
Horrible. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about like how bad it was when I did it. So without
we
numbing...
need to clip that.
Sorry.
It's going to be horrible.
It's going to be horrible. No.
I love it. Welcome back, one and all. Thank you for listening. If you're new here, this is the Totally Wholesome, Not Dirty podcast, and I'm your host, Molly Stewart. We define wholesome a little differently here, and my guests span everywhere from the adult industry to the vanilla side of humanity. If you haven't, please consider subscribing. Word of mouth is what helps this podcast grow. So share with a friend, leave a comment, download an episode, or anything you can to help with the algorithm. I release episodes every Monday, and if you're subscribed, you'll never miss an episode. You don't want to miss out on all the crazy conversations that evolve here. But that's enough from me, and let's get to today's guest. One of the joys of a podcast is that you can just start it, and you don't have to be dressed sexy. In fact, you shouldn't be.
Really? Oh, I wish
you know, to protect.
Yeah.
You know, anytime I try to wear something that like I feel sexy in, a nipple, it always slips out.
Oh, really?
You know what I mean? So I thought today pajamas, because why not? And also I was feeling incredibly lazy.
You look cute in anything. So,
Well,
I mean.
Thank you very much. But you look adorable. And it's so nice to actually like be able to meet you since I've heard about you from Laura, who unfortunately could not be here today because she is doing makeup for a shoot with Sean Nelson, who you are familiar with.
Yes. And Laura's sweet. I wish she would have been here too. But
Me too. But I'm so sorry. This is Brandi. Would you like to say hi to everyone?
Hi, hello everybody.
Tell us a little bit about you.
Sure. My name is Brandie Mae. I am an erotic female bodybuilder entertainer, a competitive, I guess, national level bodybuilder.
Which is so cool.
Yeah, I wish... I still get asked all the time if I'm gonna compete again, and I'm like, I feel like those days are over, but at the same time,
there's a party that wants to.
Yeah, still, it's that stupid little days, like the bodybuilding bug. I don't know, like it just never kind of goes away.
No, I feel you. Like I get people asking me all the time now that I've started kind of doing the fitness thing.
Bless you.
More intensely. So sorry to the audio listeners and to Brandy's ears. Like, are you gonna do, fitness competitions and blah blah? And I was like, no, because I don't like to cut out anything that I eat. And I'm like so busy already. I feel like there's so much that goes into that I don't think I would be able to time manage it well. So to anyone who can, I salute you.
That's my big, when I was in my 20s and early 30s, that's kind of, and it really was like I worked a lot, obviously, but I still did prioritize the weight training and the dieting and preparation, obviously, right?
Yeah.
Because you're passionate about it and you have a goal. But once I kind of hit a different place in my life, I started focusing more on my entrepreneur work. And then it kind of did take a back seat. So I still love the element, but I think the restrictive diet and the over supplementation are the two elements I just don't ever really have a desire.
Yeah.
It's one thing to eat clean and like, hey, is this...
and to be as healthy as you can comfortably without making it kind of like an obsession.
Exactly.
And I found also that I've been someone who's been obsessed with the way that I eat, how much I eat, counting calories, this diet, that diet, like especially when I wasn't like committed to actually being fit and to being healthy. And it was like all these little side things. Oh, I can get it if I try this. But really, like, I've never felt healthier than I do right now. Just training and just like trying to see what I can accomplish and not really focusing on what the weight is, because it's all the sorry, I'm trying to not swear in the first 10 minutes of this. It's all over the place. You know what I mean? And so it's hard. I probably already have, so I'm sorry if I have, David. I haven't been keeping score. But it's easy to just kind of like get lost in the obsession of trying to get to whatever magical goalposts that you set for yourself, but there's always a different goalpost. So I think like the biggest thing for me was just, all right, how do I live the healthiest that I
Yeah.
can without making it something that becomes a detriment? Like, because
Yeah.
body dysmorphia is, oh my goodness, it's so hard once you start doing something fit. I even look at myself from like a year ago when I thought I was like super fit and I was like so shredded.
Oh,
But now I've built up a bunch of muscle and I feel like I'm big
bigger.
right now.
Yeah.
But then I also know objectively, like, if I was looking at myself as a different person, I'd be like, oh, you look good. But to me, it looks so different. And
Different. Yeah.
the changes can be so drastic in kind of a short amount of time
Yep.
that it's like,
Oh, I know. Like when I at my biggest, I was competing at a light heavyweight, and I'm 5 foot, so I was about 160 at
mm.
5 foot of solid muscle, which is a lot of muscle on my frame,
Dude,
and
I'm 160 now.
I'm 5 foot.
I
Yeah.
know.
So like the past few years,
Oh
like
my
the big
God.
thing is I was just trying to get my upper body. Like at my height, you can really max out your
Yeah.
muscle, and I was super wide, and I was like, this is it was just a lot. And
Yeah.
I was still young enough, and I was like, I've got to kind of reevaluate. Then the pandemic and all that hit, and then like no gym, no like any kind of supplements for me. So
Yeah.
then it's
So
like,
it's like a comment. So how do I train from
yeah,
home? How do I keep
exactly.
healthy without
And I
like,
lost a lot of muscle. I got healthier though. I did like
mhm.
my eating in a strange, weird way.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's kind of was the transition point as far as bodybuilding,
Hmm.
competing. But the other, like I've thought about the new ones, I guess the health and wellness. There's like a wellness one
Yeah.
now. So it's like maybe something like that. You know, the women are thicker in the lower half and they're
Hmm.
not as shredded and not as depleted down. So I
Hmm.
was like, maybe if ever to
Yeah.
consider, probably be
I,
that division.
you know what's so funny is I've seen those like side by sides on TikTok, like girls who are friends who one does wellness and one is like a bikini competitor. So they'll do like side by side
Yeah,
comparisons of exercises and how their bodies look different. And I didn't really know what the wellness one was. I was just like, oh, I didn't know that that was actually like a competition thing. So that's cool. Learned
I
something
think
new
it's
today.
newer. It's a
Yeah.
newer division, I think probably within the last couple years.
Hmm.
And I think they're supposed to, oh sorry.
No,
They're
don't.
supposed to be
I hit this thing all the time,
okay,
just like
okay.
slap it like
Sorry.
it owes you money. It's all right.
Okay, sorry guy. I think they're supposed to be it was supposed to be for the women who were like I guess just naturally voluptuous
Hmm.
and didn't have as much muscle on the upper half to kind of accommodate. But then it's really just a whole bunch of places for women to compete in whatever division their body
But I
maybe
feel like
fits.
women just always be competing.
I know, I
Like
do
all the
too.
time.
It's like there's always something to
There's
compete
always
in.
something. I'm
Yeah.
like, and it's hard for me. It's one of the reasons that like camming became unhealthy for me is because I'm like such an insanely competitive person. And that's also part of the reason that I don't want to do any fitness competition stuff because like I think I've talked about this before, so I'm sorry if I have, but Brandy's never heard it before, so
Yeah,
shut up.
no, yeah.
And I left my headphones at home. Couldn't use my headphones when I needed to do cardio. I freaking hate cardio. It's like the worst thing in the world. I
Yeah.
despise it. And I do like the recumbent bike thing.
Uh,
So I started competing with the players on the screen who I think are probably just computer simulations. Like I don't even know if they're actually real people.
yeah.
And I burned so many more calories than I normally
Really
do. Just
competing.
because what else do I do to keep me going if I have no distractions,
That's true though. Yeah, you do a little healthy competition can be
Healthy
okay,
competition.
but
I try to keep that in check by like making my competitions minimal.
yeah, no, I totally can understand what you're
Yeah.
saying. I was always a competitive, and honestly, yeah, the bodybuilding is probably one of the only sports where I was my competitiveness. I think after competing a few years and getting beat, and then really realizing how much more restrictive I'd have to go to like get that top spot. I was like, yeah, maybe this is just one of those times where my ego
Yeah, I just have to like keep my own
yeah,
ego in
yeah.
check.
I'm like, it's gonna be there. It's okay. I can get away with
Yeah.
not being first. I'm all right.
Did you have that growing up? Like, were your parents were you doing like sports and stuff like that? Were
I
you
was a
like
tomboy.
super? Me too. Super
Yeah.
competitive. Did you have
Mm-hmm.
the parents who were like the like the big screamers at the matches?
No, I actually didn't. I was kind
Okay,
of the opposite,
just me then.
but I was so competitive, and I did compete with boys a lot. I ran
Uh-huh.
track because I could beat all the girls.
Yeah.
So I ran track against boys. I was really good in softball. I was good in soccer. So
Hmm.
I did play with boys a lot. So I'm sure that was the beginning of
Me too.
yeah. There's a root cause of it always.
Oh man, that competition, like, that runs deep. That's some of that, like, childhood stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's ingrained in you. And once it's there, it's like, well, but I think it's just a matter of like trying to find where you can kind of focus that energy and make it positive,
Yeah.
because
Oh,
otherwise it can
yeah.
be so self-destructive.
Yeah, no, I know, right? No, for
Yes.
sure. I know. I've gone through those phases too, where the ego and the competitive, especially with women and,
Yeah.
like the early days of like the social influencer and like
Oh
that
my
was
God.
destructive. But now I've
Yeah.
matured a lot and
Yeah.
grown from it.
Isn't
And
it nice to be, how old are you?
I'm 40.
Oh my God,
Yeah, I
really?
just turned 40 this year.
I would never have thought.
Oh, I've had a lot of
I thought,
work, babe.
okay.
Oh yeah, girl, I've had it. Not too, not
Okay.
toward crazy, but yeah, I've had
Do you
some
talk
stuff.
about it
Of
oh,
course, I'm
yeah,
so
so like,
open with it.
because I get Botox for my forehead because my ex-husband gave me these really deep worry lines. Um,
Yeah, I
but but I'm just
yeah.
curious, like, what's like the process and recovery of that? Because I've
Sh-
been too afraid to
Well,
get
girl,
mine.
okay, so I've had a couple years ago, I had threads, like bigger threads, which was the first kind of invasive face and
Okay, I
neck.
don't know what a thread is.
I don't know. It's like these collagen things. That's what they look like collagen plastic, long, just pieces of, and then literally, this is going to sound worse. It really wasn't as bad as it's going to sound.
I'm so
It was
upset.
like dental surgery, though, and they
Okay.
numb your whole face, and they literally just take a long needle with the thread in it, and they just stick it in your face, and
They
they
just
thread your
like
face
fish hook your
tighter.
face.
Oh,
Oh my
yeah.
God.
It's, yeah.
That's like some horror movie stuff.
It is, I'm sure if you're
That's
watching it, the way it felt, even though it wasn't painful, but you could like feel him tucking it under your skin.
Oh my God, I just imagine like that in a horror movie as like doing it to someone when their
But
face
without
isn't
but without
numb. And
numb.
they're just like, oh, and there's like thread coming through their
But that
face.
would be
Oh,
like that. It would be horrible because it was
it would be horrible.
horrible. Yeah. Because I'm thinking about like how bad it was when I did it. So without
We need to
numbing,
clip that.
sorry.
It's gonna be horrible.
It's gonna be horrible.
I
No,
love it.
it would be. So yeah, so I've had that done, which I'm proud of it. I paid
Yeah.
for it.
Dude, like people change things all the time. It's so much more commonplace now, and I don't know why people have such a problem with it. If it's like if you don't like how you look,
I just said that in
do
my
something. Who
post
gives a
the other
shit?
day because I went. Now, let me say this 10 years I've been injecting. These lips, I just got them done and they look phenomenal. And I spent a lot to have, but I had really jacked up my lips. I had done
Hmm.
emotional filling for years. This is a
Yeah.
thing. I really did. My top lip was so deformed.
Yeah.
And I went to a new place and she was like, you have to
Yeah.
dissolve it all, wait 10 days and come back. And so I did. I went through a phase where I was
Yeah.
really injecting my
Well,
lips. It's so
it's like
weird.
that
Why
thing,
would
like
you do
it's like that
that?
thing, like with anything, like even with everyone, no matter who you are, has like some form of body dysmorphia,
Yes.
and it's kind of like there's a point where it's like maybe you have something that you don't like, but you want to fix it. Do it in a way that's like subtle and conducive, because it's like it's so easy to get lost in that, like, well, if I just did this then I would look better here, and it's like it gets to a cycle where even that's unhealthy, like with anything, training too much, dieting in a certain way that isn't necessarily
Yeah,
healthy to achieve a certain aesthetic,
it's true.
like there's so many different types of addictions that people don't really
You
talk about because, oh, mental health is so scary. Like,
it's true, and it kind of creeps up on you, and that
hmm
is really what happened. I did used to have a little bit of body dysmorphia with the muscle, obviously. Like I said, I really got my because I was big. Then
My
I
abs were
switched
so
it.
shredded. I'm still
I saw
sad about it.
pictures.
I'm so sad.
Yeah, I
I
saw
got like a little
pictures.
fluffy layer.
I don't think so, though. No, you still look
I'm
good.
getting it back.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. But girl, I gained 15 pounds in Australia because they have some good ass bread over there, and the candy is just,
But
sorry, the
your
lollies.
body still looks
Well,
incredible.
thank you. But see,
No.
that's the body dysmorphia talking, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, we get back
Say,
in the point. It's
yeah,
like I
I
can
know.
assess, like, yes, I look fine, but I do miss how my abs looked. And so it's kind of like, okay, well, there's something to work towards, because that's something that's achievable, because
Yeah,
it was achievable before. It's just like,
exactly.
maybe
Take
not so much bread, you fat fuck.
exactly. Like just hey, plan like a couple weeks and lay it off. Yeah. But I mean, yeah. But you look good, girl. I did see
Yeah.
your pictures where you were like super and I was like, "Oh yeah, she's a
Yeah.
muscle chick," because when you see usually those abs, that's what
Yeah.
muscle girls are like,
I
"Ah,
I
muscle
want
chick."
I want the abs
They're
so
like
bad.
muscle
It's like
chicks.
if I get the right lighting, right? And I tense real hard enough and I've just peed. So my bladder is completely empty.
Yeah.
And I'm not on my period. And I'm not on the week before my period. And there's no blood. I can get some
Yeah.
really good stick and
No,
get that vein
I can see in
popping.
your shoulders though, actually too. I
Oh,
mean,
thank
I have
you.
got a good eye, but I can tell in your shoulders and arms
Before
even.
you got here, my man actually came up and complimented not my tits, not my ass, my shoulders. And I was like, well, thank you.
See, yeah.
And I'm wet. So, because it's cool to be like, okay, like you have been putting in all this effort. And even if you can't necessarily see it because you're wrapped in and up in whatever weird, unnecessary goal that you've set for yourself, other people can see the progress, and to actually have compliment on that is like
Oh,
really cool. You know what
yeah,
I
it makes
mean?
you feel good.
Yeah.
No, for sure. But yeah, and I could tell. I was like, oh yeah, she's got those nice shoulders.
I promise I don't have COVID. I was literally just tested. I'm just like choking on emotion. I don't know.
I know we're getting deep with the
It's real hard.
body dysmorphia talk.
Ugh.
But yeah, I went from big muscle to just like really injecting in my lips for a while. And fans made fun of me. I really didn't care. Like,
Yeah.
I just was like,
People are not always gonna make fun of you. At least they're talking about you.
Yeah,
That's why
right.
like I'm just weird as all fuck right now, and I don't care because clearly I'm putting this out for the 5 of you that listen. So thank you for being here today.
No, you've got to. No, I love it. Your podcast is awesome.
Well,
It's,
thank
and
you.
you're awesome, and you put effort and stuff into it, which
Thank you.
shows something. Yeah, that's a rare
Yeah.
quality
Well,
nowadays.
I had fun because I was like, we were actually talking about this before we were rolling. Is
Yeah.
that I was saying I feel kind of like the podcast for me is going back to the parts of camming that I enjoyed when I was a full-time webcam model. So I kind of set up the podcast space like something that I would have had when I was webcamming.
Nice.
You know, just like that soft, like really comfy aesthetic because you're in the room all the time,
Yeah,
all day long. So you got to have the fuzzy stuff. You got to have all the things that feel nice to touch, you know, like,
exactly.
and just be comfortable with it. And the podcast has been so cool in that way because then it's like I can get back to that part of camming that I liked was the entertaining, and then take
Nice.
my other time to put in the work to actually like figure out what my fans like in the DMs, you know what I
Oh,
mean? And
yeah.
actually create content and take more time to work on like whether it's my mental health, which I've, you know, done and may do again in the future, you never
For
know.
sure. Yeah.
And then, you know, with like the fitness and just being healthier, almost 2 years off of alcohol now, guys.
Good
What's
for
up?
you. Nice.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
thank you. This
Oh,
felt so good.
nice.
Yeah, it's a whole different perspective.
Really?
Yeah.
I've never been too much of a. I had to kind of lay off the pot. That was my thing. I used to
Oh.
be a big, and I was a big stimulant.
Mm.
Not necessarily like
Mm.
speed or anything, but I did a lot of the other stuff, and that's
Yeah.
closely heavy tied to, fitness. A lot of them
Yeah.
were very, but yeah. So
Okay.
I was like 10 plus years. I mean, it got to a point where it got really sickly and
Yeah.
bad, and so
Well, for me now it's just coffee and
yeah,
whiskey,
that's why
as
I'm like
everybody
this little bit of
knows.
coffee. I'm like that's yeah.
Too much caffeine. Get like
Be at the gym
PTSD
last-
flashbacks to your like 300 milligram workout. We're just like, wow.
No, seriously. But yeah, so we all have our little vices and stuff that I think
Yeah.
we all have to deal with, and I'm sure we might hopefully don't
Yeah.
have too many more
Oh.
later on, but
Yeah. And I get flashbacks all the time. Like I think I have a totally different perspective now, especially at the point like I can be uncomfortable with certain things about my body. It's like overall I'm not like trashing myself all the
yeah,
time.
exactly.
And I think back to all the years that I completely trashed myself. And when I was
Oh.
with someone who told me that I looked a certain way that I didn't.
Oh,
And I even had it in my head. You know, I've talked about this revelation before, but Brandy's never heard it, so shut
yeah.
up.
I want to hear.
About how I had all these different periods where I was like really fat, or that I was chubby, or that I didn't have muscle definition, or this and that. And I look back and I can't find that era. It
Mhm.
doesn't exist. It was like something that was built up in my head.
Yeah.
So body dysmorphia is a real thing. So now I can kind of look at it as I've looked so many different ways, but none of them have ever been in the way that I thought that I did. So it's
Oh,
kind of like that changes, and it
yeah.
changes all the time, but it's never been something that's like bad. I can't look at any of those photos and tell that girl, ew, like, ugh, gross. I'm
Yeah.
like, so how can I tell that to myself? Because it's me,
Yeah,
you know?
I know what you mean.
Ugh.
See, I wish I felt, well, I don't know. I just had liposuction done, and it was starting to mess with me mentally in a
Yeah.
way. I'm not, and I hate to say that because it sounds really vain, but I've always been a really confident person.
Yeah.
But for some reason, not even my boobs being messed up bothered me as much as having like really bad love handles,
Mm.
which is really, I know that sounds so superficial and awful,
It
but it's
doesn't.
like,
No,
it's my real truth for whatever reason. It's like no
yeah.
other part, but for some reason, the
Everybody has something that bothers them. Like for me, it's the fact these feet. Guys, stop jerking off to them,
really,
please. I
why?
can't. They're so big, for one, so I can never find really cute shoes.
Oh,
For two, they're bigger than most men that I know. For three, they always have, look at, there's a fuzzy on it right now.
oh.
Where did that come from? I just have random toe fuzzies. Also, they're cold and clammy, like all the time. Like in a matter of 3 weeks in Australia, I destroyed my man slippers with my bare feet. Like it
Really?
just like eats through like whatever is on my feet. Just like eats through slippers like nobody's business. Like I have a sub whose one of his tasks is anytime that my slippers get gross, he has to buy me new
So every two
because
weeks.
it's a lot. It's like I stretch it out to 3 months before I'm like, all right, these have got to
Like,
go.
hey, guy, I've prolonged this as long as possible.
I am asking you once again to buy me slippers.
Yes.
Laura, is the desert hot?
As hell.
As hell. Some may feel run down in the heat of summer. Do you ever feel run down?
Yeah. Every day.
Do you ever feel like you just don't want to get out of bed?
I mean, sometimes.
Like it's difficult.
It's that hot. You're miserable.
You stopped drinking coffee. Laura, where will you get your energy? How will you keep your skin?
It's been hard.
How will you keep your skin so dewy and beautiful?
It's hard. It's really hard. I gotta drink a lot of water.
You have to drink so much water, and then you have to pee
Always.
all the time.
I'm running to the bathroom like
constantly.
Yeah.
You're always peeing. But you never feel fully hydrated.
Never. With this heat, how can you
How do you do it? Laura, I have good news for you. Did you know that 1 stick of liquid IV, when dissolved in 16 ounces of water, hydrates better and faster than water alone?
Damn.
Would you like to try some liquid IV?
I would, actually.
Which flavor would you like? They have provided us pina colada.
Ooh.
They have golden cherry. Highly recommend, one of my personal favorites.
That sounds good.
They have acai berry. And also passion fruit, which I have already begun using, as well as the golden cherry.
Damn. Let's do the golden cherry. That sounds really good.
Open the package, Laura. Do you like the packaging?
I love it.
It's my favorite color. I really like it.
This is great. I mean, and it's slim, so you can just stack your
You can
cabinets.
just slide it right in. Slide it right in with liquid IV.
All right, let's do this.
I don't know. All right.
So the whole thing, right?
Yeah, the whole thing.
Yeah.
And luckily for us, I have a spoon. So that
Luckily.
what I prefer to do is to put it in my blender bottle and just, that's how I start my mornings, actually, because I am always dehydrated. I do it before I even have my coffee in the morning. True story, literally every morning here in Vegas, especially during the summer. So Laura, let me know what you think of golden cherry.
Ooh, nice.
It's become my personal favorite.
Thanks. Cheers, everyone. Dude, that is good.
I know.
That is really good. And it's not sweet, but it has a good flavor. You could definitely taste the cherry in that. That's
so good. So highly recommend golden cherry.
delicious.
Now, if you guys go to liquidiv.com and use code TWND at checkout, you will save. You will save You will save.
Drum roll.
You will save so much that you're not even going to believe how much you can save. You get 25%
Whoa.
off.
Actually, that's generous.
25% off when you use code TWND at checkout. David, sorry for earlier reads. I thought it was 20, but apparently you save even more.
Yes!
If
That's
you are
good.
not drinking liquid IV, you might be dehydrated. You might be. You'll never know unless you try. So, Laura, can we tell them a little bit more about liquid IV?
Yeah, I would love to.
I mean, you'd never heard of it before, but you just have these cards here that are just so useful for our visual viewers. So, liquid IV has 3 times the electrolytes of traditional sports drinks, which is just electrolytes. It's what plants crave. All right.
Yep.
What else? Vitamins. B3, B5, B6, B12, all of the best Bs, and vitamin C, which you need because people be getting sick. So don't get sick. Use vitamins.
Yeah.
I mean, you might still get sick, but you might get sick less. You might. All right. It's non-GMO. It's free from gluten. Oh, gluten's so scary. Dairy, which is fantastic because why would you mix dairy
With water.
with water? It's also great for those who are lactose intolerant like me. And, you can confidently say that the dairy that is lacking from liquid IV sticks is just tremendously saving for your butthole. And I know that you guys relate. Liquid IV has also donated. They are trying to change the world, guys. They're trying to change the world. They're trying to hydrate the world. They have donated over 20 million servings globally. That's like so many more than 2 million.
We love
so
you.
many more. It's 20 million. That's crazy. So
Thank you, Liquid IV.
if you guys want to experience better hydration today, then you should go to liquidiv.com and use code TWND at checkout to save 25% on anything that you buy at liquidiv.com. We thank Liquid IV for liking me and sending liquid IV because I love this stuff.
It's bomb. Thank you.
All right, back to the show.
Really? See, you know what? It's funny. My feet aren't I hate my feet. I think my feet are ugly. They're like 8 and wide and they have no shape to them. They look like, and so
Girl.
I'm not a big feet, I don't do videos or anything really.
All right, David, you're gonna have to blur this out. So listen, what I'm telling you right now because they don't deserve to see this, and then maybe you can buy it from our OnlyFans. Now, put your feet next to mine and tell
Okay,
me how
hold on.
much gross, how less
Let me
gross
see.
your feet feel.
Let me see. Nah, I felt no.
Look how wide.
They
so
your-
wide.
yours are. I mean,
Like sometimes. All right, so
they.
in an 11 wide. Sometimes certain types of shoes. This pillow needs to go.
Go.
I apologize.
It's okay.
I'm so squirmy. I'm so freaking ADD. All right. What was I saying?
Something.
distracted.
Oh no, it's about the foot. 11 wide.
Oh, 11 wide. So sometimes you can get like these open-toed 11s that will pass for like an 11 wide because it's just open enough. But if that strip comes back too far, I just get like love handles over the top.
Oh really? Oh.
I have like the fattest feet. It is so funny to me that guys are like, oh my God.
And guys
I
love
wanna
it.
see 'em.
Yeah. Do you have a lot of guys that like your feet? Even. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
I'm
so
like,
awesome
ugh.
though.
Like, it's cool. I'm glad that you guys enjoy them because I do not. Like, so at least somebody else.
At least right. Hey, at least they do since you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been the same way. I don't like my feet. I've just now after almost 15 years of like content shooting, am I trying to be like, yeah, let me get a foot in there. I've got to make sure they're nicely painted. I even have to make sure my nails are a certain length
Yeah.
because like they look just awful
Oh
if
my
they're
God.
too short. So like I won't photo them unless they've been pedicured because look, they're so veiny and like anyway.
I think they're cute.
But
Guys like that.
they like the veins.
But-
I use the veins. I'm like, yeah, they're veiny
But-
feet.
What's funny to me is I've never, like, I just think they're gross. And I have always told people that they're gross, even if they wanted content. So I never cared about, like, what my feet looked like. And I swear to God, like, I had a planter's wart in the ball of my foot for no less than 3 years before I decided to finally do something about it because it clustered and grew.
Oh gosh. So you kind of had
And
to.
then suddenly I'm like, oh, I have to care about this because
Yeah.
this is like noticeable. Like, so I had to like put a stop on foot contact for a while because I had to heal and shit.
Oh
Because,
no.
planters warts, what they do is they like burrow in. So once they get like burned and frozen out, they have a period where they have to like detach from the skin and then they fall out. So you have like little holes in the
Oh,
bottom of your
wow.
foot. It's so freaking gross. I am
That
disgusting.
sounds that sounds yummy.
I had it in high school. It was like the worst thing because I was in sports all the time. And anytime I was so covered in warts all the time, like my hands. I have these burns here that people have thought are cigarette burns, but they're actually from moles that I had burned off when I was a kid.
Oh wow.
It was just, I don't,
Lots of
did I say
moles and
moles?
warts?
No, these were warts. I'm sorry, warts is what I'm
Okay,
talking about.
gotcha.
And it was crazy. I don't know what it was.
Or where they came from.
And I don't get warts now
now.
on my hands, just sometimes on the balls of my feet that you guys love so much.
Are
So
the planters warts the ones that have the spurs? Like those little.
I think so because they like burrow in, so they
Yeah.
don't come out the top. So it kind of just looks like you stepped on something, like a little indent, and then it just gets bigger and bigger, and it burrows inside. And apparently there was like 9 of them.
Oh
It
dang.
was so bad. I freaking hated it.
Oh my gosh.
But that's
Had
me.
to
I'll
get-
avoid the doctor like at all costs. Like I don't.
So it's like the feet had to take a little break from the camera for
Yeah.
a while. Oh.
It's why like Botox I think is as far as I can go just for like my forehead because like I hate going under like the knife. It's so I had to
Yeah.
get moles taken off my face and that was horrible.
Oh,
It swelled up so much.
oh, dang.
But it was like they're like, oh, this one has gotten a lot bigger. It could be cancer, so you should
Yeah, no.
probably. So I was like, well, and then another one started growing on my lip as soon as these ones have started to really heal.
Wow.
Just so moly.
Wow.
Miss Moly
Miss
is what they used to
Molly
call me
Molly.
on my
Really?
freaking.
Oh my
Yes, they
god.
did.
I bet you there's a lot of guys that like that though.
Yeah, the moles.
The mole guys.
Yeah. Yeah, they like it. I mean, I don't really care. My dad is covered like his neck is all moles. So eventually I think I'll just like be
A mole.
a mole. Like and then I'll die. I think that's what happens.
Stop
They
caring.
freeze me with like
Yeah.
the that wall D or whatever it is that you
Oh,
compound W.
I've been fortunate. I've got some big ones actually on my back. I've had them checked out, but I haven't had any removed yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, those moles can be, they
Mm.
can be gnarly. I mean, they're like little, some of them can, like my friends, you like see them in camp, they like talk,
Yeah.
show up in pictures and you're like,
Mhm.
hey guy, or they grow the hair.
Yeah.
That one's,
I
yeah.
hate when they grow the hair. And what's
Oh,
funny is I
I've got
had
this
one
on my neck.
removed here when I was much younger, and I had a big old mole right here that always used to grow this big witch hair.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a witch, and I was like, oh, that'd be cool because once I get it removed, there won't be a hair. It grows out of the scar. Like I still have to pluck it.
Yeah.
I'm like, bitch, found a way. It's like this little cockroach hair. It just keeps growing from my chin. I'm like, can I catch a break? Can I like not have to tweeze something or burn something off or cut something?
no, you know what? That's actually a part of my, before I get ready for a shoot, I'm not, no lie, I'll check my, especially right here on my neck,
Mm-hmm.
and for hairs.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though I have wonderful like producers and stuff, friends, you know that but
They don't always know.
yeah, no, and
And
the
you know what's funny?
nastiest thing is a gnarly hair sticking out of your neck.
Yeah.
when you're trying to be sexy.
Yeah.
Your neck mole. It's so gross.
I just shot a scene. I just shot a scene for Brassers and we get to like this end part and like the focus is my boobas and she's down there getting ready to suck on him and I looked down and I was like, there's like a big black hair like growing out of the top of my areola. So look for it in
Yeah.
upcoming features because I didn't pluck it. I was like, nah, fuck him, let him live. You know, he was determined to be here because he was not here last night.
Yeah.
So
He just like popped up literally.
he's like, I'm ready for my close up. So I was like, fuck it.
Oh,
Like,
well, I have large areolas and I know exactly. And as a woman who's taken supplements,
mhm.
the areola is a big, I hate to sound gross, but it is. It's a big area of like, especially if you've taken supplements, like,
Mhm.
and so that's another place that I double check and even have to like,
See, here's
laser
the
down.
thing. I appreciate that, but I've never taken supplements. My
well,
nipples have always grown. It's like this funny thing, and that's why typically I will check for it, but I forgot because I was lazy. And it's like, it will be like, oh, maybe there's one here. I also have a mole on my boob, so sometimes one grows out of there.
But that is common though,
Like,
for even
yeah.
women who don't take supplements.
But I'm
Yeah.
just like, it's always one. And I'm like, where
Well,
did you come from?
I'd rather
Why
just
did
have
you have to
one
be here?
instead of like I kind of have like and then you know what I
Does it
have
hurt?
what
Like for you when you have to pluck them out?
well no what I do is I have one of those at home splash and go lasers. So even though I electrolysis for just the smaller ones you
Oh,
can
like a little pinpoint.
oh yeah I'm
Oh,
zapping
I be
everything.
yanking them out because like, it feels good. You guys know my nipples are. Oof,
Yeah,
but
no, but it's either I try to laser it out. I mean, I'll
oh,
zap that thing.
I wish I had more. Sometimes I just like keep plucking them out. Just be
Yeah.
like, oh, oh,
Because the
just like
sensation,
coming all over my bathroom because I'm like tweezing
like
my
tweeze.
nipple.
I know, right? You're like, "Ew."
Out of every potential milk duct, there's just like a hair. And I'm just like, fuck. Just like,
Yeah. That's so funny. Oh goodness.
oh
That's
Jesus.
funny, but
So, speaking of content,
yeah,
you do content too. So, what type of content do you create? Because,
sure.
so we were kind of just introduced by Laura, who once again sadly could not be here
Oh,
because she doesn't love me. Laura, I hope you hear
oh.
this. You should have canceled on Sean. You should have given up this opportunity to be here for me.
Oh,
Where are you? I'm just kidding.
oh,
I love you, Laura.
oh, hi, Laura.
But so I don't really know. I know that you do some like Dom type stuff, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, I do actually a little bit of every. I've she
Mm-hmm.
fendom a lot,
Yeah.
hardcore, girl, fetishy. Used to
Well,
do
as
more
someone
lift
who
and
has
carry
recently
stuff.
gotten some muscle mommy fans, I get the Dom thing because it all kind of like plays into that as well. Like I
Yeah,
feel like they really like the strong, like you know
the
what I mean?
strong, yeah, the strong kind of, and especially for me
Yeah.
at my age, and I know this, and I mean, I'm proud of it. I don't have any issues with it, but the closer I got to 40, I was kind of like, hey, I'm just gonna embrace the muscle milf element.
Yeah.
And it
Why not?
really, yeah, it's really been really cool. But I mean, the dom is just kind of like the sweet spot, I
Yeah.
think, because I'm kind of an alpha. I'm not like a ah super BDSM type of ultra. I
Yeah.
girls that are, but I'm just naturally kind of alpha and dominant. So I think at my age, yeah, I love just putting those little boys in
Yeah.
their place, and
I've
yeah,
always loved it. I think like I play into the Dom thing well. It's like I was always snarky as fuck.
yeah,
Even when I was a kid, I was just like picking on everyone because like my friend that I did have before I was homeschooled was like bullied. So I was always ready to come up with some shit to say
yeah.
to those guys. So now I'm just like, oh, you want me to humiliate you? You've come to the right place.
Exactly. And that's really all yeah, I mean, being Dom is not it's kind of just making it your own in your own
hmm
way, like
And everybody
bragdom
is
and
different with what they're
exactly.
looking for as well. And I think what's cool with the Dom thing is that you can really kind of like dive into all the different like facets of it and see kind of like why people are drawn to it and what it is about it that they like get
Yeah.
from it, where it came from. And I think it's like fascinating.
My biggest thing that I get a lot, and I think the niche that I've got is with men and their mommy issues.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, that's really my territory. There's something about me and my spirit, my aura, even in my real life, that I gravitate these men with mother
Muscle
issues.
mommy, that's
So,
it.
like, but in for the entertainment element, I just really hone into it and try to like, it's fun. Sometimes these guys can get a little bit too heavy. It's like, hey, dude, like
Yeah.
therapy, like
Yeah.
I'm entertainment. I don't want to know that much.
Yeah.
Like,
I often felt that way. Like and sometimes I have like I've always said that it's like I'm therapy with boobs. And it's like at some point it's like, but that's part of the thing with I feel like the Dom sub relationship is that it also comes down to in a way, even though you're dominating them, whether it's humiliating them or whether it's in one of the constructive Dom type ways,
hmm
that you're kind of like nurturing a person in a way, which is a big responsibility. And then it can sometimes fall on you to be like, hey, we're breaking this for a minute. To be like,
yeah,
hey, here's something that is actually like being, negatively impacting you
yeah,
at the moment. You know what I mean? And I think that some people just get into doming and they don't really understand that. And they're just like, oh, well, they're just there regardless. And then I cast them off. It's like, but if
yeah,
you do that, then not only do you kind of end up creating more trauma for someone who already is in some ways traumatized
Mm.
or working through whatever issues
That's a
they
good
are, and you're kind of just dumping them and leaving them with a whole new issue to deal with of abandonment.
It's funny you say that because I've actually had guys, it's even like cam guys, but in the muscle genre is not huge. So guys kind of like different girls. But I've had a lot of guys because I am a nice person. Like generally, I'm a nice person. I'm kind. And I've had guys talk about other girls all the time in that way, and they always feel like this girl just was, they just take it so personal that this girl
Hmm.
treated them like shit because it wasn't like it was so disrespectful. It's
Yeah.
so extreme that they
Yeah.
took it really personal.
And you
I
can't
feel
just go
bad for him,
into
and then
you
I feel
can't just
bad
go
for
into
him.
doming and just be like, well, I'm just going to be a bitch,
Treat him,
because
yeah,
that's not what they're looking for, and it's not something that's healthy. And then
yeah,
it's like there's a point of getting like this god complex where it's like when you're in the moment and when you're, saying whatever it is to the person that is paying you to do so, you need to understand and still respect that there are boundaries and that it is a real person. You
yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
they are real
Yep,
people. It's like you want people to see performers as real people. Then you also have to see the people that watch you and consume your content and support your products or your brand or whatever as real people, because they are.
yep.
It's like everybody has their own life going on that has nothing to do with you, yet they're taking time out of their day, money out of their paychecks
Mm-hmm.
to support you.
Exactly. I agree wholeheartedly. And
So
I
it's
I know
like
a few
we have to
women.
have both ways of respect.
Yeah, I know a few that are very just plain disrespectful, and that's my thing. I just always stay in the realm of respect. Like I'm
Yeah.
just gonna even if you need to be degraded and
Yeah.
you want me to spit
And
on you,
sometimes they
I'm
want
gonna do it
something,
respectfully.
like that, or they're like, I want to basically feel ignored and used. It's like, okay, so you feel ignored and used for a while, but then you come back to it and you're like, so how are you? You know what I mean? Like
Exactly,
it's not,
exactly.
it's a period of like give and take, not just like give,
That's a good.
not just take.
I'm
It
glad to
has
hear
to
there's
be.
other women too who feel like that because then
Yeah.
sometimes I just feel like I'm getting too like not too old, but like I just feel like is it something wrong with me? Like I'm just a kind
Mm-mm.
person, but I don't feel
Well,
like that's
I'm getting
wrong.
old, so I mean,
No.
maybe.
Did we just get soft as we get old? I
but
don't
but I've
know.
said this before. In a way, I feel like I don't really deserve the success that I have been lucky enough to have.
Oh, I
But
don't
in a
see
way,
that.
it also has kind of worked out to such a benefit because now I interact with so many people, and then I'm also able to like use, the tools that I have to help the people that I care about,
Oh,
whether it's hiring Laura for a shoot, whether it's paying David for an episode, whether it's helping my brother if he needs something. It's like, well, then at least, it's going towards people that I know that are good, that
yeah.
appreciate,
I know
the
exactly
things.
what you
And
mean.
so in that way, it's like then I appreciate even more the fan base that I have, because not only are they, supporting me and the content that I make or the podcast that I have or whatever it is, they're also supporting people who I care about
Yeah.
inadvertently,
Oh,
you know?
you're so sweet. See,
Well,
I
it's
don't get to be around sweet like nice people. Some of the women I'm around, they're pretty.
yeah.
They're vicious doms,
Yeah.
boy. I'm just
Well,
like,
I don't
jeez.
I don't know. You live for you live for 9 years, 8, 9 years with a narcissist who only cares
Oh,
about
yeah.
money and things. You get a different perspective on
Um,
how the world actually is. Um, and I think that, I've never really been that person, but that
mm,
was the life that I was living
yeah.
because of the person that I was with. And so
Um,
it's just like it's getting older, honestly. This is
yeah,
what
it is.
it
It's like
is. You have to go through some shit to gain perspective. If you
yeah.
don't go through anything, you're not going to have perspective on anything.
Yeah, experience and then just
Yeah.
life. Yeah, I agree. And just emotional maturity,
Yeah.
At least for me, that's
Hmm.
been what
But
it's
it's
had
like,
to be.
I hate that I'm quoting TikTok right now, but what was that? What was that thing? What doesn't kill you doesn't always make you stronger, but you know what it does do? Gives you trauma.
Mm.
Congrats, you're funny now.
Oh, that's funny. But not funny,
It's
but
relatable,
like, yeah,
but it's
but
funny because
understandable.
let's be
Yeah,
honest.
I know. In the past few years, especially the elements of trauma have really been amplified with
Hmm.
all this pandemic. I know it's
Yeah.
crazy out
And
there.
and I feel like it showed the true colors of a lot of people, like people who um I don't know. It's just like I feel like a lot of people got real selfish real quick
I
over the past 2 years,
I
and it became a
agree.
very me first mentality. And that's even like
Hmm.
at the grocery store or like in the parking lot. The other day,
I
like
agree.
4 people pull out in the parking lot. Like I had to back up to like let people pull out. I'm like, there are open spaces. You could just let me park. I've been waiting here for like 20 minutes. What's going on?
Yeah. Do you feel like,
Like,
okay, so I have kind of a question. Do
yeah.
you feel like that some of that entitlement, like how do you with your fans now? Have you been
Mm.
a performer a long time? Have you?
It will be a decade in
Okay,
February.
so yeah, so then you might can relate.
A decade.
Even on cam, do you feel like they've changed and gotten a little bit more and kind of kind of more so what I want versus what you provide as an entertainer?
Um,
Maybe your fans.
I feel like yes and no, because I feel like um even though I've been in the industry for as long as I have, I feel like my job has changed so many
Mhm.
times
Oh.
over the course of that. So I feel like yes, especially when I run free promotions
Mm,
on my subscription sites, there are a very large handful of people, unfortunately, who are very give me this, give me that, give me this. And I'm like, just look at the homepage. There are so many things
yeah.
that are nude posted for free that you could utilize. Like,
Uh-huh.
I get it if you don't want to pay and you just want to try it out and see what it is. That's cool. But like, don't be demanding because I'm already
Yeah.
offering things. It's like, I'm not out here for my health. All right. I'm
Like
here because it's my job.
exactly.
Like, and it does get that entitlement. But I feel like I've also gotten a lot better at setting boundaries with people straight off the bat, which I never did before.
That's
It's
good.
like, oh, I can have boundaries and guidelines and rules to,
Yeah.
protect my own mental health and to like, not feel ruled by someone
That
who is paying to see my boobs.
yeah, that's good that you yeah,
So,
I've actually had to do the same,
so
especially
people have gotten more respectful
yeah.
because of that, because I
Yes.
tolerate less
Yeah.
bullshit, I guess. Because when I was a cam model, it's like you have to take all the bullshit to
Yeah.
even like get noticed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You just kind of have to be like, yes, 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 or amenable, or like, and you have to be happy all the time, but you're
Yeah.
not
Oh,
happy
I
all the
know.
time.
Yeah.
So it's like
That's a big thing
becomes living a lie.
in the muscle genre, and I will say that I think that my try kind of happy-go-lucky attitude that a lot of the muscle women they say are like not happy, not friendly. And mind you, they're dieted down,
Yeah.
probably not in a good mood. But yeah, that's a big thing that a lot of the guys are like they're not very friendly or some of them aren't happy and I'm like, well,
Yeah.
they're starving and they
There's a
don't
lot of
want to
people
be.
that aren't very happy, and sometimes they just don't hide it very
I
well.
know. I'm like, well, they're showing those big old biceps, so maybe,
Yeah.
just
Maybe they're
appreciate.
tired. Do you
Yeah,
know how hard doing a flexing shoot
I
is? Like,
know.
I had no idea. The first time I did her
Oh, I
bicep
know. Oh
shoot,
my gosh.
like, Sean was like, "Oh, you're gonna be sore," and I was like, "Do you even lift, bro?" And
Like, you're talking to here.
I was like, "Oh my God!" And even like doing it was fine. It wasn't anything. And the next day, I was like, "I don't know if I can leave my bed."
I
Like,
know.
I was so sore. I thought I stretched enough. I didn't. Like, I should have taken an aspirin
Were
or
you did you
something.
do like a gem shoot or just like a flexing
No,
kind
just
of?
flexing, but I wasn't used to like holding it for all this time, and you have to shoot so many different angles, and then there's also video, and so it's all this going back and forth, and it was hot, and it was fun. Like, it was really fun. It's not like I regret doing it. Like, it was amazing. Just the next day I was not prepared. So
Yeah.
now I know every time I do one,
It's
so I'm more
it's
prepared.
different than like yeah, it's different
Yeah.
than like an
It's
erotica.
exhausting.
Yeah, it's a totally different. I was just having I have conversations like that all the time with video models and they do like the fitness because I did more video work. I never did
Hmm.
a lot of the photo shooting.
Photography.
Yeah. And so yeah, when you do it, you're like, "Oh my goodness, wow, I forgot videos." Especially if you're good at ad-libbing or
Yeah.
it's so easy and fun and you just do your
Hmm.
thing, but yeah, the posing and
Yeah.
standing, it's like, "Oh my goodness."
Like, and I have such a problem with posing. Like, sometimes, like, I hate this, like, this whole gym rat thing. Like, every time I see a mirror, I pose. But I do because
Do
I'm
you
trying to be like,
really?
gains. Like, but it's also one of those things. I shoot so many photos that it's like, okay, well, how do I make my body look as good as I can?
Yeah.
So it's kind of it is that practice in the mirror thing. Like, I've had girls ask me before, like, how do you do practice in front of the mirror? Like, you'll feel stupid. Like, sometimes I get so tired of looking at myself. I said this to my friend the other day because we're in the car and my podcast just started automatically playing when it linked to the car. And I was like, oh my God, this fucking annoying bitch. Like, I can't even listen to myself. I don't know how you guys do it.
Aw. But yeah, no, you are right that you do have to look, especially if you are, I guess, posing and trying to flex. I mean, obviously, like,
Mm,
routines and stuff, it's all the same. Or yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
And like different poses, just a slight shift in the way that you tighten your muscles can make the entire pose look different. Like,
oh, I
and
know.
and so it's like figuring all this kind of stuff out, and then it's like, well, I do try to learn that stuff because, well, now I do have that kind of fan base. I didn't have it before, so hey,
That's
here's something
cool.
I'm trying to learn that's new, and bear with me because I'm bad at it so far.
No, but I love it though. I love doing it's like some of the poses, like the biceps and the most musculars.
Yeah,
Those are always some of my go-tos, just
yeah,
because, I am kind of a meathead, so I
yeah.
like, yeah, I'm
Well,
always
it's
on cam,
fun,
like,
and
eh.
it's cool to like be able to see yourself that way. Like, look what I did, because
Yeah.
like no one else did that but you.
But I
You know
will
what I mean?
say though, like back in my day when my muscles were bigger and I was more shredded, it was more, I don't know, for me, like when I had more muscle, it was funner and I would do it more. Now that I'm not as, I
Yeah.
feel like I'm not like womp womp. Like it was boom and now it's a little, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't do it as often, but
Yeah.
in the muscle cam or with muscle fans, they don't care, it could be
They just
big,
want to see
big.
it.
Yeah, they like all size muscles, right?
Yeah.
So it's, yeah,
They
so
just
it's,
want to see how the muscles,
I
and
love the
it's,
flexing though. It's always
well,
fun.
Laura has been helping. We should do a content day, like do some muscle
Yeah,
content together. It'd be fun
for
because
sure.
Laura's actually been shooting my content, and
Really.
she did some muscle customs where I was like working out, did some cool pans with the little gimbal and
Yeah.
stuff, and it was cool to, because I'd never watched myself work out, right? So if I'm doing push-ups and you get some cool shot, I was like, damn, I'm strong.
Yeah.
That's why I got shoulder
Yeah.
compliment
See,
today.
exactly. See, what happens is, yeah, you sweat out a little bit of that water, then you see those
Yeah.
muscles, and you're like, oh, damn, I do
Or you
have it.
just rub a little oil on it.
Yeah.
Because she's
With
just
a little tan on.
just a little movie magic.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we should.
Yeah.
I love doing content with like muscle
I'll
girls.
get a light spray tan because I'm like an
Me
albino
too. No, this
ghost.
is like spray. I'm usually really
Girl,
like,
but please, like, you look so tan compared to me. I'm like a
no.
translucent ghost.
No, I'm always translucent. Seriously, this was I was actually out of town doing a photo shoot, but and she sprayed me with the Total Pro Tan. So
Hmm.
that's why I'm like super dark, because usually I'm really light like you,
Yeah.
which is
Well, the first time I ever got like a spray tan, I shot with Sean because he said to get one beforehand, and I'd never had one before. And like, I have never felt more hot in my entire life than before I washed it all off, and like
really,
I had bronzer. I was like, I am a god.
yeah. It
Because
does
that's when
make you
that was like the period that I was like so
dark.
shredded.
Yeah. Oh
Like, I
yeah.
was so shredded and you could just see everything. I was like, I understand why people tan.
Because yeah, it
But
makes
I can't
everything
do it
pop.
naturally. Even if I get sun, like I get tan, but I get just like a little less see-through. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like they're just
Like
like, oh,
translucent with
there's a
the
person there. Like, that's cool. You can
yeah.
like
Okay. I got
don't
you.
need as much contour to like
Yeah.
have a face.
But you still, but no, I've always just done. I stopped tanning a long time ago, but I always just did the like the spray tan, but it's still not like the muscle tan,
Yeah.
because I've never done a lot of the muscle
Yeah.
photography.
I,
That's
I
like,
didn't do like super tan. I
yeah,
was like, I want to look natural. I don't want to look like I'm trying to go into a bikini fitness competition because I'm not. And that's a lot.
yeah. They got me last week with the fitness but I think even then though, with the light, skin, if we both have with good sunlight or good lighting, you could still get
Hmm.
those muscles to pop.
Hmm.
I've done tons and tons of muscle stuff
I
with
have
light
I have
skin.
some new bikinis that I
Yeah,
need to use, so
exactly. Oh
we
yeah,
should
we
do
do
it.
push-ups and
Yeah, it'd
we
be
can do
fun.
POV.
I have a squat rack in the backyard too.
Really? Yeah. It's hard to find places to get a good like squat or kind of
Yeah.
gym workout where you can in a bikini that's
Hmm.
appropriate. It's hard to find
And
spaces.
it's very private.
Yeah,
So.
exactly. Oh yeah, that's
Hmm.
exciting.
Hmm.
Oh
It'll be
yeah, we'll
very
have to
fun.
do it. Yeah. See, that gives me motivation to like
Yeah.
build some upper body,
Hmm.
just to because I don't
Yeah.
get motivated easy.
Her biceps wants to shoot again, so I'm also like, all right, let's do this. Actually, Laura is going to be spending some time with me soon, and we're going to be training together every day. I'm going to be making her train with
Really?
me, so you should come with
Together?
us
Oh, where do y'all
sometime.
train at?
I there's a gym that I go to that's close to here. I'll tell you
No, so I
after.
got you.
No, you're good. But and then also just even at home, I do a lot of calisthenic stuff as well.
Really?
So I have a bunch of gym equipment just like all over the house, like in the
Oh, nice.
background.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, nice. I've got
yeah.
like a few of the, what are those big dumbbell weights? I can't remember what they're called, but the ones,
No,
the
this
big,
one,
yeah, the
this
ones
one.
that have all the different heavy, I don't remember, but I've got that one at home. But I got rid of
Yeah.
weight stuff a long time ago when I lived in Texas,
Oh
which I
yeah.
regretted when during the
Yeah.
pandemic. I was
Yeah,
like,
like, I
remember
could have
that
used
gym that
that.
you had? Remember? Here, I just have these.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd love to come over and train, especially
Yeah.
with you and Laura. It's hard to
Yeah.
find fun girls to
Yeah, well, I
train
never
with.
train, like I always train with my man because he does all the fitness stuff. So it's like it's really nice to train with some ladies.
Yeah.
Get out of
Yeah,
here,
get some
man.
push-ups and
No, I'm just
yeah.
kidding. He's great. But no, yeah, it is hard to find like I it's like I see it all over social media because obviously that's what is shown to me because that's what I do.
Yeah.
But I'm like, where are these people actually? Because
I
like
think yeah, I thought maybe they just weren't in Vegas. I was like,
yeah.
maybe it's not in
I
Vegas
just
or
like
not.
I want someone else to join in my addiction with me.
Yeah,
Would you
exactly.
join me? Like,
No, yeah, girl, we need to. That'll be fun.
yeah, we're just gonna eat healthy, smoke weed to compensate for eating healthy,
That's right.
and
When is your her bike? Is this like in a couple months or
no, they want to shoot sometime in August.
August?
So,
Oh,
but I
that's a
think
couple
like late
weeks.
August. So it's like I
Oh,
got some
okay.
time, but it's just a matter of I have to stop eating bread, which I've managed to do pretty well since I got back because the bread here just doesn't compare. And I'm so sorry to keep bringing this up on like almost every
Oh,
episode since I've been back, but like I miss it.
so they
So,
just have really good bread there,
oh
like
my God.
unbelievable.
All their stuff is so good. Like it's crazy. Even Sour Patch Kids were better because they don't, not everything is like high fructose corn syrup.
Yeah, I know.
I was like, the flavors have flavors.
Yeah.
Like it's not just sweet. It's not just like sugar. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I used to have friends in Germany and stuff send me like chocolates and candy. I can't do
It's all so
candy
much better.
here.
The candy
Yeah,
here sucks
it
now.
makes
Like
me sick.
I don't even crave it. I'm
No,
just
I
like, what
know.
is this? It's
I
like,
think C's candy is probably the closest I can get. I can eat a
mm,
little bit without it. It's got that because I
yeah.
guess it's better quality. But yeah, I can't even eat
There's
stuff anymore.
okay. So at the Venetian downtown, there's this place. I don't know if it's still there because I haven't been I haven't been downtown and I don't even know how long. But so it's in the Venetian and it is these like Japanese truffles. They're so good. They're the most amazing because you know how like Japanese like treats are always like they're not. It's the same thing where it's not that overly
They're,
sweet, but it's even less
they're
sweet than the
lighter.
Australian
You
stuff.
can
Yeah,
yeah,
like a Japanese cheesecake, like that fluffy. Oh my God.
it's good.
But these truffles will change your life. I hope they're still there because they're just like finely dusted and different stuff. They have like matcha ones. They have all
Oh,
different kinds of chocolate.
I'm gonna remember
So
that because I'm gonna seek when I get a sweet tooth. I have to seek out
good.
these places.
They're so good.
Because my stomach can't take what it used to. But that would make sense though, going to Australia and eating all that good food. Well, you
Yeah.
look great, but
Well,
I can
thank you.
understand.
Well,
Just
it's like we were still lifting every single day. So it's like I gained a bunch of muscle. So it's like I don't know how much of that was muscle weight gain versus whatever, but I know that there's a fluffy layer and it's been coming down since I got back. So it's good. I
yeah,
lost a couple pounds. So
you've
it's like,
got plenty of time. Yeah, you've
yeah,
got time. You just have
I
to.
don't care. And honestly, if I looked like this shooting now, it would also be fine. And that's what I keep telling myself so that I don't like tumble into body
Yeah,
dysmorphia spiral
exactly. Or like freak
because you can't
or
do
start
that. You know,
starving yourself or whatever.
I'm
Yeah.
like, if this is what I look like right now and they don't want to shoot me, that's fine. Because I'll just shoot stuff for my guys because they still like it.
Well, you
So,
still
you
look.
know.
I mean, you still look pretty muscular. I mean, I
Well,
noticed
thank
it
you.
when I walked in.
Well,
So I
thank you.
noticed your abs and your shoulders. So
Yay!
yeah, we
It's
can't be.
coming back,
Yeah.
boys.
Just a few more. Yeah, a couple more weeks. But yeah, that'll be fun. But her biceps is fun. I miss them. I need to get in
Yeah.
shape a little bit myself and
It would be
call it
fun to do a
Sean.
shoot together because I've done some. I did one where I went in. I wish I could remember her name. I'm so bad with names, but I got to like measure her arms and her legs, and she
Those are
was
the.
just massive. She was so. I was like, wow.
Oh, see, yeah, I haven't done any for them in a while in their little studio, but I love doing stuff like that for,
Yeah.
especially for their stuff, because
Yeah.
they've got such a good fan base, and
Yeah.
everybody
No, but
is
I
gonna
know that a
watch it.
lot of people have come to my subscription sites from her biceps and they've been super chill. So it's been really awesome having you guys.
Yeah,
But
when I was looking at your page, I was like, oh, what a hot redhead muscle girl. I was like, why haven't I seen her before?
because I stay inside and I
You do
almost
your
never
own
leave.
thing. So she's busy doing
I
her
still
own
have
thing.
that like cam model mindset of like, I'm in my home.
Well, that's why
Like,
you're successful though, because you stay focused and you just, work
yeah.
and put in the effort.
I
So
actually like, it's one of those things where I'm like focused, unfocused, because I have so many different things that I want to focus on. So it's like, well, I better just stay home, or I'm not gonna do any of them because
That's true.
it's like I created this room so that I would like have a space that I had no distractions from other than everything like work related. And so it's
Really.
like, well, then I'll buckle down. But that took me forever to get set up. So it's like
It's
I was distracted the rest of the
Well,
time.
it's impressive, girl. I love it. I think
Thank
it's
you.
awesome the way you've gone from like webcamming and then like now your podcast is really
Yeah.
incredible.
Well,
It's
thank
really
you.
well done.
Thank
I
you.
mean, seriously.
Congrats, David. You're killing it.
Yeah. No, I love it. That's why I wanted to be,
Yeah,
it's like,
well,
yeah,
I'm
I want
glad.
to come on. I was like, she's awesome. She's ambitious. So,
Oh, well,
I mean,
thank
I
you.
love that. I love to see women, I mean, always support my competitiveness is in the past and
Yes.
my,
I'm
so
the
I
same
love to
way.
support.
It's like I'm competitive with myself now, I
Yeah,
think,
exactly.
which is a lot healthier. And then it's like, well, now there's all these amazing people that I can meet that hopefully other people will learn more about. And then, collaborations. And there's just like kind of a unity of like, well, let's try to see everyone do something successful. And it's why I hope that other performers can listen to this podcast too, to be like, well, here's all these different people with all these different thoughts about the industry and their start and how you can be successful to do, to not do, like all that kind of
I
stuff, I think can
agree.
be really helpful because a lot of us didn't have any of that. So it's
Oh,
like,
I
well, we might as
know.
well share the experience so other people can potentially avoid,
Especially
things.
us women. I mean, obviously, if we're like entertainers, women, we can relate to each other. But when I first got into it, especially in the bodybuilding world, I mean, it's overinflated ego city,
Yeah.
and you can feel it just from all. It was really awful, and now I'm older. I've really went through like an ego death a couple years
Mm.
ago, like nervous breakdown, really awful.
Oh, that was my free cams for me.
So I really have flourished like a better person. It's like you said, like I strive on being a better person and not
Mm.
always checking my ego. That's really one of my main things is like just check your ego. And it's
Mm.
crazy because when I live by that philosophy, my life like is just so much more full and like light, like, because I'm not looking at every woman like
It's
they're
like
a like
we already get enough shit from men. Can we leave each other alone? Like, it's like there's already like, and I'm not, and it's that whole not all men thing, but I feel like I shouldn't even have to fucking say that because you guys know the situations that have occurred with men. I've talked about things that have happened to me. Other performers have talked about things that have happened to them. You can see it in the world when things like Roe v. Wade are overturned.
yeah,
It's like we already have all these different things that we have to deal with.
exactly.
It's like, let's work on just being better people in spite of that, not like to spite other people.
Yeah,
You know what I
no, it's
mean?
so true. And I mean, I've even doing different businesses and I'm the same way. Like I'm not a man hater. I'm not bashing on men, but
I
like our
love men.
businesses, like I've had different business partners as guys and it always just turns out bad. But a few women that are like, it's like, oh wow, this is really working. We, no, we don't have egos, we have an understanding and we're
Hmm.
making it happen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, I can be with the woman
Yes.
and I'm glad. And now I'm like, maybe it didn't work out with those guys for a reason. But yeah, girl, we have to like support and I'm
Yeah.
glad that
Oh,
I'm at that
sorry.
place. You're definitely there, but where I come from, and there's still a lot of ego, but I don't deal
Yeah.
with people that are overly
Hmm.
toxic kind of, but
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like with me, like one of my things, like I'm very like I'm self-deprecating and have been to a point of fault, but it's also kind of like I have I think it's my ego is kind of that whole I have to do everything perfectly and it has to come out
oh,
just right. So that's what I have to check and just realize
mm,
that I don't have to do everything. Not everything is going to be a slam dunk or if it is not right away, like that things take time and it's like because I'm so used to just bashing myself down,
oh,
which is like that's my thing that I was
I
working through,
see.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And just kind of that realization that you just have to do what you're going to do regardless of like what other people are doing. Like you have to have
yeah,
your own
that's true.
goals, your own life,
Yeah,
your own aspirations. And it's like, and those can help and assist other people. And it's great to have people in your corner who are there to support that. But it's also like, you don't need that.
yeah,
All you should focus on needing is like, how can I do the best at what I'm doing now on
yeah,
my own?
yeah,
Because at some point, and it's just not everyone, but people can let you down.
Ex-
Situations can change. You can let yourself down.
Yep.
You can make mistakes that tarnish relationships. And so it's like at the end of the day, you have to figure out how you can feel fulfilled and happy in what you're doing, regardless of other people.
That's
and I
true.
feel like at that point, then you attract more people who are kind of in that same boat already, where it's like, all right, I already know what I want. I already know the path that I kind of want to be on.
Yeah.
And I know enough about myself to respect myself.
Yeah.
And so I respect you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know
Like,
exactly what you mean. And when you are there, you tend to gravitate. You're right. Like people in that same kind of mentality.
yeah.
I've been fortunate. Yeah. Luckily, I was able to get rid of toxic people and bring some healthy women into my space. So I'm grateful for that. And that,
Yeah, me too.
and
I didn't have that for a
yeah,
very
me
long
neither.
time.
I
So
have,
Laura was
yeah.
one. So
Oh,
I was
yeah,
like,
she's a sweetie.
she's so fantastic.
She's a sweetie. Yeah, I can't wait to, work with her more on makeup. But
She's
you
awesome.
could feel it. She was just a sweet
she's
sweet soul.
just a good soul.
Yeah.
It was funny because I think we'll have mentioned this by the time this is out, but like the name of the podcast was originally The Whore Next Door. Apple Podcast didn't want it on with that name, so I changed it, and I was like, what can I do with this acronym? So it's totally wholesome, not dirty podcast. And then Laura started coming on more and more, and everyone loved her, and she's the wholesome bit now.
Oh,
and I'm the part that's not dirty. So
oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Yeah, she is wholesome.
yeah,
That's
so it
how
ended
you
up just
feel.
working out, you know.
Yeah, she's
It's so fun.
oh, that's cute.
We'll have to have you back when she's here as well.
Oh,
because man, we had such a fun time with Marie as well. I think you guys are gonna really enjoy, upcoming episodes, especially where Laura can be a part of it, because she just adds this whole other element.
Yeah. Oh, I bet she does. Yeah, her and we sat there and chatted forever. Yeah,
she's so easy to talk
yeah,
to.
she's really cool. Yeah, she gave me some inspiration about a few things too.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
No,
Yeah.
she's full of light. All we want is for Laura to succeed. And if you haven't already, subscribe to her Wholesome Fans. It's Wham Glam Artistry.
Nice.
So that's where you can find all the fun BTS wholesomeness, craziness that goes
that's
on
what
behind
she's.
set.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool.
Because her and I are just like,
Yeah, just shooting the stuff. And,
No,
yeah.
she's great. What platforms are you on that people can find you? Like,
I'm on the OnlyFans and the Twitter. I can't even remember I'm like Sexy Buff Babe and Sexy Brandie Mae kind of is universal,
Okay.
like kind of like across platforms, but with Instagram, I'm on my fourth. Think of my fourth account.
Yeah.
What are you on? Have you
15th?
Oh my gosh, are you serious?
Yeah, it's like 15th or 16th. It's something like that.
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
I've been getting deleted. This is the longest. There's no wood in here. There's no wood.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry to bring it up without.
This is the longest Instagram that I've had. So
Really?
I was getting deleted back in like when Instagram was new. Like,
Yeah.
like I've just always been deleted.
Do you have any kind of like method of like I've literally come up with like philosophies of like pictures like
I don't know how much of anything that I believe about Instagram is true, but like I've heard so many different things from different people, so I try to like mesh that all together.
well, I
into
just
one
try to I
person.
hardly can't post anything provocative to any capacity, and one thing that has worked so far is my hand placements. I noticed if I have any hands on my body anywhere, it's flagged.
Yeah, so I've heard that. So it's another thing that I've heard with like, so I tested this. So I've seen so many girls where it's like they'll have a white t-shirt, right? And it's wet. So you can clearly like, what are we doing? And I'll get stuff deleted where it's like, almost the same thing, but I was like holding them or I was covering something with my hands. And if you're touching yourself, it gets flagged.
Yeah.
But if you're wearing something that's sheer and you're not touching it, like I tried it with a fishnet bodysuit and I was always like this, you could see the outline, but it didn't get flagged.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I
There's
found
gotta
the
be
same
sneaky.
thing. But the fact that we even have to contemplate to
It's
that
so
degree is so
freaking
ridiculous.
annoying. It's like just, oh God. And the other frustrating thing, do you get a lot of catfish accounts?
Everything's catfished. Yeah.
It's like you can search me and a catfish will come up first.
Yeah.
Like it's not even gonna be.
Oh gosh, and because the muscle stuff, there's so much. There's been catfishes of me, and
it's all over. Like I had a fan say that they searched me on TikTok to try to like report some fake accounts. He was like, there was over 100. Like I kept scrolling and I just couldn't like do anymore. I was like, well, thank you for your valiant efforts.
Yeah.
But like, it's so many you can't control. It's like, but then they don't verify us. and they don't let us continue to go, but people are getting scammed, and it's just like, what? Like, you know what I
Oh,
mean?
yeah. I've heard of
It's
that,
fucked
people
up.
getting scams. I've been lucky that I haven't had anybody try to scam, but that's probably because I'm so open and like vocal on my like Instagrams about like who and what I am. People
Yeah.
kind of know I would
Well,
never like.
but it's like I feel like I have verification things like on my stuff. Like I have one of the links that shows all of my stuff, even my backups. And I'm just like, after a certain point, you have to realize it's not me.
I know,
Like,
but
and I do talk openly about catfishing on the podcast. So if you know me, you would listen to the podcast or you would hear clips about it. I answer it in Q&As on Instagram all the time. I'm just like, after a certain point, you bear some responsibility
yeah,
for,
on your own,
it's like,
like
it is unfortunate, but it's also like you have to accept some personal responsibility.
I know. You know how these people are when Instagram's just not the same. I think none of it's the same as
Nah,
what it used to be. So I'm
it's
kind
not.
of interested to see like what's coming up in the future.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure.
like what's gonna be the next
I don't know.
anything, if
I feel
anything.
like TikTok is taking over everything right now, but
I
who
never
knows how
got
long
on
that's
Tik.
gonna
See,
last.
that's where I like put my limit down.
Mm-hmm.
After I just never got on TikTok. I think once the OnlyFans came about and
Mm-hmm.
it was so much like work, I
Yeah,
wanted to work on it and like I was like, I can't do the TikTok. And I
yeah.
know some people have just do well, like even people that are like I heard about the woman who's like the Excel expert who like
Oh,
makes a
really?
100 grand a month like
That's crazy.
doing Excel. I mean, it's ridiculous the
Yeah.
amount of money, but I just couldn't do it. It was a mental health thing.
It's
I'm
a
not gonna
lot.
lie.
Like, it's a lot
For
for TikTok.
me.
Like, I'll put so much work into some things. Like, people are like, you should do this one, you should do this. I'll put so much work into it. It gets like no traction. And then something that I put 2 seconds into that's like a joke goes viral and has like 2 million views. And I'm like,
Mm.
why this? I do other things.
Yeah, but
Like,
that's still a lot though for views. I mean, for
yeah.
anything to go I mean, that's a big deal. I never have had anything go
Looking at a
viral.
big deal right now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm just TikTok famous. Fucking dumb.
TikTok famous.
I fucking hate that I have TikTok because I always said I was never gonna get it, but everybody's like, that's what people are using now. And Instagram was like all the traffic's like slowed down on my page, even though my
Yeah.
followers increased. Like I don't think my stuff was being shown to them. I think it was shadow banned.
Mm.
Can't get verified anyway. So I'm
Yeah.
like, well, I might as well play with TikTok. You know, I do
Well,
better with videos anyway.
Well, when you have this
But it's a
podcast, yeah,
lot.
but
It's a
with
lot.
something like this, you have something really meaty to really advertise other than just content. So it's
Hmm.
to me, it's worth it. You know, you
Yeah, I'm
have
like, I don't
something.
care how you watch me. Just watch me. I need attention. I didn't get enough of it, please. Please.
But is the TikTok just dancing, or is it like it's?
I
I
don't
don't.
fucking dance. I did one
Okay.
today of me and Laura dancing in her bicep shoot. I'll show it to you later.
Oh,
No one will probably watch it, but it makes me laugh, and that's the only thing that really matters. And I'm not gonna learn dances. I'm not
just
gonna do it. I can't do it. I'm so uncoordinated as it is. Like I have trouble walking upstairs. It's a problem. So it's kind of like I don't have the time for that. I just like to do funny ones, or I do fitness ones where I'm working out, or
yeah.
I
Okay.
do
Well, there
like
you
a here's
go.
my PR, or like just flexing ones,
Well, I guess yeah. If you're just recording a video, you can just
Yeah.
take it up to. You can just create an account and then just stick the. See, I'm this old school mentality. If you got to do the dance, or but I guess at this point you can just
No, you
upload
don't.
anything.
I follow some amazing people on TikTok. I like to follow the old grannies. Um I love them so much. I wish that they
The funny ones are.
I feel like my grandma who has passed, Satan is still alive and well, the other one, but I feel like she would have been an amazing TikTok granny. Like there's like the sexy granny. I wish I could remember like their usernames, but I only just they come up in my
Oh,
feed and I
gotcha.
like their
Yeah.
stuff. But there's one, she just sits there and holds a camera. If anybody knows who's no, she holds a mug. If anybody knows who this is, write into the show, please. twndpodcast@gmail.com so we can credit them. But she just sits there with a mug and like says some sarcastic shit to the camera, and like that's the whole thing. And I like the sounds. I like them. And there's another one who's like sexy granny, so she does like transitions
Oh
and then
yeah,
becomes like this
that's funny.
sexy old. And she's really sexy.
Really?
It's like, damn, granny, like for real, like she's
Like,
hot.
oh,
I was like,
nice.
damn, I would be as lucky when I'm that old. But
Try
like,
to look like that.
and gym granny. So she's like gym granny motivation, and she's like, Granny's got you, and she'll like pull you in and take you to the gym, and she's like doing curls and stuff. I was like, I love these women so much. Like,
Oh
it's
gosh,
most of my TikTok feed.
gosh,
It's
you're
like,
gonna make me have to get and check it out. I'm gonna have to check it out. Oh gosh, I love it. I love the grannies. I'm gonna have to
yes,
watch that. Yeah,
please check it
I'm
out.
gonna have to.
And then also, just for since we're ending, we should check you out and
Okay.
your Instagram just again for everybody who's
Sure,
listening.
I am whatever_Brandie Mae.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So follow Brandie Mae. She has been lovely, and we're gonna
Thank you for
definitely have her
having
back
me.
with Laura and make muscle content because it'll be very
Yes.
fun.
Yes.
We can just do podcasts and then just
Flex.
or just flex. We should flex and then do the podcast when we're like
Yeah.
tired.
Yeah.
We just,
We like, oh.
just get stoned and just be like, I'm dead.
My flex.
Just
out.
covered in oil. We're all tan and sweaty. Like,
Hey,
hey,
and they would watch it for
content.
exactly. They would.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank
for
you so
being
much for
here.
having me.
And
It's
do you
been
have
fun.
any final words for the viewers?
Just other than like hey, stay sexy.
Stay sexy.
Stay sexy.
Stay sexy. Stay sexy. Send all your submissions to anchor.fm/TWND for voice messages, twndpodcast@gmail.com. Follow on youtube.com/MollyStewartChats. Subscribe, share with a friend. Thank you so much for listening. Love you. We'll see you next week. Bye, David.